Did you know there's a city in Japan where deer walk on the streets like people? They cross the road at traffic lights, stand in front of shops, and even bow politely when someone gives them food. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true. This place really exists. It's called Nara, one of Japan's oldest and most peaceful cities. Hello, dear listener. Welcome back to our calm English journey. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for taking this quiet moment for yourself. Today, we're going to walk through Nara Park, a place where nature, history, and kindness meet. Here, more than 1,000 deer live freely. They're not in a zoo. They're not owned by anyone. They live with people, eating, resting, and walking side by side every day. And the most amazing thing? People treat them with respect, almost like friends, or even like little messengers from the gods. But how did this begin? Why do the deer in Nara bow to humans? And what makes them so calm and gentle, even in the middle of a busy city? In this story, we'll explore the secret world of Nara's deer, their history, their connection with people, and the quiet lessons they bring about balance, patience, and peace. So, close your eyes for a moment. Imagine tall green trees, temple bells ringing softly in the distance, and a deer looking at you, calm, curious, waiting. It bows. Will you bow back? Let's find out. Together. Chapter 1. A City of Deer. Nara is a quiet city in Japan. It is not very big, but it is famous all over the world for one special reason. It's deer. When you walk through the city, you can see them everywhere. They walk beside the roads, they rest under the trees, and sometimes they even cross the street with people. The first time you see it, it feels a little strange, like something from a dream. But for the people of Nara, it is completely normal. More than 1,000 deer live freely in Nara Park. The park is very big, full of green grass, ponds, and old temples. The deer are not afraid of people because they have lived together for many generations. Some of the oldest stories from this area say that the deer are messengers of the gods. For hundreds of years, people have believed they bring good luck and safety to the city. Because of that, nobody hurts them. The deer are protected by Japanese law, and people take care of them every day. There are even volunteers who help to feed them and clean the park. When you visit, you can buy a small pack of rice crackers called shika senbei. The word shika means deer in Japanese. These crackers are made just for them, and the deer know it. When you hold out a cracker, the deer walks up to you carefully. Then something amazing happens. It bows its head. It looks just like a person saying, "Thank you." People bow in Japan all the time to show respect, and somehow the deer learned it too. Of course, not every deer is perfectly polite. Some are a little impatient. They may push gently with their noses or try to take the cracker from your hand too quickly. A few even follow tourists down the street, hoping for another snack. But even when they are a bit naughty, they still make people smile. Tourists from all over the world come to Nara to see this. They take pictures, laugh when a deer steals a map or a bag, and enjoy being so close to nature. Many say that it feels peaceful, like a city where humans and animals finally live together in harmony. But for local people, the deer are more than just a tourist attraction. They are a part of everyday life. Children grow up playing near them. Old people feed them every morning. Shops sell souvenirs with little deer on them. And during festivals, there are even deer-shaped decorations everywhere. If you visit Nara in the early morning, you can see mist above the grass, soft sunlight between the trees, and dozens of deer walking quietly. The temple bells ring slowly in the distance. It is calm, beautiful, and simple. It makes you think, how is it possible that people and wild animals can share the same space without fear? Maybe it's not about control, but about respect. What about you? Would you like to live in a place where wild animals walk around freely? Or would it feel too strange for you? Chapter 2. The Legend of the Sacred Deer. A long time ago, more than 1,000 years in the past, Nara was not just a small city. It was the capital of Japan. Emperors, priests, and noble families lived there. The temples were full of monks, and the city was alive with art, music, and tradition. But the most famous story from that time is about a god and a deer. According to an old legend, a powerful god named Takemikazuchi came to protect Nara. People say he arrived riding on a beautiful white deer. When he came, peace and safety returned to the city. Since then, people began to believe that all deer in Nara were sacred, holy animals that carried the spirit of the gods. For many centuries, no one was allowed to hurt or kill a deer. It was not only against the law, it was against people's hearts. The deer were seen as protectors of the city, just like the god who came on the white one. Even today, you can find old paintings, carvings, and stories that show this moment. The god on the deer, bringing light and peace to Nara. As the years passed, the capital moved to another city, but the deer stayed. People continued to care for them and to believe they brought good fortune. When something bad happened, a fire, a storm, or an illness, people would go to the temples and pray to the deer for protection. It was a symbol of hope. In the 16th century, during a difficult time in Japanese history, a few deer were harmed by soldiers. The people of Nara were very sad and angry. They believed the gods would punish anyone who hurt these sacred animals. From that time on, new rules were made to keep the deer safe forever. Today, they are still protected by law. If you walk through Nara Park now, you will see many stone lanterns and wooden gates with small deer symbols on them. Some temples even have statues of deer at their entrance. These small details remind visitors of the old legend. The story of the white deer is not just a story for children. It tells us something important about how people saw nature in the past, not as something to control, but as something to respect and thank. When you sit under a tree in Nara and a deer walks by, you can almost imagine that ancient moment. A white deer stepping through the forest, carrying a god on its back. Maybe that's why people still feel something calm and powerful when they meet these animals. What do you think? Do old legends still have power today? Or are they just nice stories from the past? Chapter 3. Life Together. People and Deer. Every morning in Nara begins quietly. The air is cool, and soft sunlight shines through the trees. You can hear the sound of birds, the soft steps of deer walking on the grass, and sometimes the ring of a temple bell in the distance. It feels calm, like time moves slower here. When the city starts to wake up, the deer are already there. Some stand near the temples, others walk near shops and schools. They are a normal part of daily life. People don't chase them away or try to control them. Instead, they accept them as neighbors. Many local people take care of the deer. Volunteers bring food or help clean the park. Shop owners leave small water bowls outside their doors during summer. Children grow up playing near the deer and learn to respect them. They know not to shout, not to run, and not to scare them. It's a quiet friendship that starts in childhood. Visitors often find this amazing. In other countries, wild animals are usually afraid of humans. But here, things are different. The deer of Nara are used to people, and people are used to them. It's not about training, it's about trust. Both sides have learned to share the same space. Of course, sometimes there are small problems. A deer may take food from a tourist's hand too quickly, or try to grab a bag with snacks inside. Sometimes they block traffic when they decide to cross the street slowly. But nobody gets truly angry. People just smile, wait, and let them pass. In 2010, the city even built special tunnels and crossings for the deer, so they can move safely between different parts of the park. It shows how much people care about them. The idea is simple. This is their home too. If you visit during lunchtime, you might see families sitting on the grass eating bento boxes, and deer walking quietly between them. Everyone seems relaxed. The animals don't attack or hide. They just look for a small cracker or a pat on the head. At sunset, when the park becomes quiet again, the deer lie down under the trees. The city lights shine softly in the distance. It's peaceful, almost like a movie scene. Nara is not just a place where people and animals live side by side. It's a living example that harmony between nature and humans is possible. It's not always perfect, but it's real. Sometimes, when visitors leave the city, they say they feel different. Maybe calmer, maybe happier. They've seen something simple but rare, that humans and wild animals don't always have to be apart. Do you think your city could live peacefully with wild animals like Nara does? Or would it be too difficult? Tell me in the comments. Chapter 4. The Bowing Deer. If you visit Nara Park, you will see something very special. The deer sometimes bow to people. It is not a magic trick. It is not a show. It is real, and it happens almost every day. The bow is very simple. A deer lowers its head and sometimes its front legs a little. People believe it is a polite way to ask for food. Tourists often hold shika senbei, the special rice crackers for deer. When a deer sees a cracker, it may bow once or twice, sometimes more. It is as if the deer is saying, "Please, may I have one?" But the bow is not only about food, it is a way for the deer to communicate. When the deer bows, it is calm. It does not push, shout, or run. It shows respect to the people. And people respond. They bow back or smile. Sometimes children laugh and bow many times in a row. The deer watches carefully. Some follow the bow with a gentle step closer. Others wait patiently. This behavior started many years ago. People in Nara always treated the deer with care. They offered food with soft hands and spoke quietly. The deer learned that bowing works. It is polite, calm, and effective. Over time, the behavior became natural. Today, it is one of the most famous things about Nara. Tourists come from far away to see it. Sometimes it looks funny. A group of deer bows together to a line of children holding crackers. Everyone laughs and takes photos. The scene is peaceful, joyful, and very human. People remember it for a long time. The bow is also a lesson. It teaches patience and respect. If you try to rush or shout, the deer will move away. If you are calm, gentle, and polite, the deer responds in kind. The interaction shows that even wild animals can live peacefully with humans. But remember, not every bow is perfect. Sometimes a deer may forget and take food without bowing. Sometimes it bows too slowly or too quickly. These small moments make the experience even more special. Each bow is different, and each one tells a story. If you watch carefully, you can learn a lot. You can learn about patience, kindness, and calmness. You can learn that respect is not only for humans, it can be shared with animals too. When you leave Nara, you may think of this bowing. You may try to be more polite in your own life. You may remember the calm eyes of the deer and their small, careful gesture. Would you bow to a deer if you visited Nara? Or would you just watch quietly from a distance? Chapter 5. Feeding the Deer. One of the most popular activities in Nara Park is feeding the deer. Visitors buy small rice crackers called shika senbei. The crackers are made especially for deer. They are safe and healthy. People hold 1 or 2 crackers in their hands. Sometimes they hold a small stack of 3 or 4. When a deer sees the cracker, it comes very close. It looks at your hand, then at your eyes. Slowly, it bows its head. Some people laugh. Others take pictures. Children are usually the most excited. They hold the cracker carefully and bow a little themselves. Feeding the deer is not only fun, it is also a lesson in patience. You cannot force the deer. You cannot run after it. You must be calm. You must move slowly. If you try to take too much food at once, the deer may walk away. But if you are polite and patient, the deer will come closer. Sometimes it even bows several times before taking the cracker. The ritual of feeding is very important. It shows respect. In Nara, people have learned over centuries that polite behavior works better than force. Visitors also learn this lesson. The moment of feeding becomes quiet and peaceful. The deer receive food. People receive joy and calm. But there are rules. The city asks visitors not to feed the deer anything except shika senbei. Chocolate, bread, or other snacks can make the deer sick. Visitors must also keep their hands soft. They should not grab or push. Some deer are bolder than others. They may try to take the crackers with a quick nose. But gentle hands and calm voices are always the best way. Sometimes the deer are very clever. They watch people for a long time, waiting for the perfect moment. They notice who moves too fast and who is polite. The best way to feed them is to stand still, show the cracker, and bow a little. Then, slowly, the deer takes it from your hand. Some children learn to do this after only 1 try. Others need a few moments. Every interaction is slightly different, but every bow creates a peaceful connection. Feeding the deer is more than giving food. It is a way to connect with nature and history. Each cracker is small, but it carries meaning. The act of waiting, bowing, and giving makes visitors feel calm. They often say that after feeding, they feel happy and peaceful. Many tourists like to feed the deer more than once. Some bring 2 or 3 packs of crackers. Some watch the deer eat quietly from a bench. Each person has a different experience. If you visited Nara, would you feed the deer? Would you try to make them bow? Or just watch them quietly? Think about the calm feeling you would have during this small, special moment. Chapter 6. Life with Tourists. Nara Park is not only home to deer, it is also full of people from all over the world. Every day, visitors walk on the paths, take photos, and watch the deer move gracefully through the grass. Some tourists bring cameras, some bring sketchbooks, and some just sit quietly to enjoy the peaceful park. The deer have learned quickly to live with humans. They are curious, sometimes shy, sometimes bold. A young deer may approach a group of people to see if someone has a cracker. Older deer often wait patiently, observing before they move. They are clever. They understand that humans are not a danger, but they can also be unpredictable. Tourists are often surprised by the deer's behavior. They may laugh when a deer sniffs a backpack or gently touches someone's shoe. Sometimes the deer playfully compete for attention. Visitors take videos of bowing deer or quietly sit to watch them interact. Many people say that the calm of the park is different from any city they have seen. It feels quiet, even when many people are present. The presence of tourists changes the daily life of the deer in small ways. Deer may move differently through the park, choosing paths where people are polite and quiet. Some become familiar with certain visitors, recognizing slow steps and calm hands. Deer also learn to avoid areas that are too noisy or crowded. City staff and volunteers help to maintain this balance. They place signs explaining how to feed the deer safely. They teach visitors not to chase or touch the animals roughly. Water stations are placed around the park. Volunteers check that no deer are in danger. These small actions help keep both humans and deer safe. Tourists also learn lessons while visiting. Many are amazed that wild animals can behave so calmly around people. Some learn to be patient and gentle. Others are inspired to think about the natural world differently. A quiet walk in Nara Park can change how someone thinks about nature, respect, and the relationship between humans and animals. Sometimes deer are very playful around tourists. A young deer may nudge a person's leg or follow someone for a short distance. Visitors often smile or laugh. These small interactions are fun, but they also show that the deer are careful and smart. They are learning all the time. Even with many visitors, the park feels balanced. Deer, tourists, and local people share the space. Everyone learns something from each other. People gain joy, calm, and respect. Deer gain attention, care, and food. The park is alive, but peaceful. Chapter 7. Seasons. Deer all year round. Nara is beautiful in every season. Each time of the year shows the park in a new way, and the deer move and behave differently depending on the weather and the season. In spring, the park is full of cherry blossoms. Pink and white flowers cover the trees. Deer walk carefully under the petals, sometimes stopping to look at falling blossoms. Many visitors come in spring to enjoy the flowers and take pictures. Deer are gentle and calm, often bowing politely to people with crackers. The soft spring sunlight makes everything feel peaceful. In summer, the park is warm and green. The grass grows tall, and the ponds are full of water. Deer sometimes rest under big trees to escape the sun. Visitors bring water bottles and ice cream, and children laugh as they walk with the deer. During summer, deer can be more playful. Young deer chase each other and run lightly across the grass. Visitors notice their speed and energy, and they enjoy the lively atmosphere. Autumn brings beautiful colors to the park. Leaves change to orange, red, and yellow. The ground is covered with fallen leaves, and the deer move quietly, sometimes stepping carefully on the crunchy leaves. Visitors love walking on the colorful paths. Deer are calmer in autumn, walking slowly and watching people. The season makes the park feel magical and soft. Winter is quiet and cold. Sometimes snow falls, and the park becomes white and still. Deer grow thicker fur to keep warm. Visitors often wear scarves and warm coats. Deer move slowly, conserving energy. They stay close to trees or benches. The cold weather makes the park peaceful. People and deer share a quiet moment in the winter sun. Each season gives a different experience for visitors and deer. In spring and summer, the park is lively. In autumn, it feels magical. In winter, it feels calm and quiet. The deer adapt to every change. They know where to find food, water, and shelter. They move naturally through the park, learning each day about humans, weather, and the land. Tourists notice this too. They see how the same deer behave differently in each season. Some become more playful in summer, some more patient in winter. Visitors can learn a lot about nature by watching. They see how animals respond to changes in the world, and how humans can interact respectfully at any time of the year. Even the festivals in Nara are connected to the seasons. In spring, people celebrate cherry blossoms. In autumn, they enjoy moon-viewing festivals. Deer are present, quietly watching, sometimes receiving a small snack from visitors. They are part of the rhythm of life in Nara, in every season. Imagine walking in Nara Park in all 4 seasons. Which season do you think you would enjoy most with the deer? What would you learn from watching them change with the weather? Chapter 8. Deer and Festivals. In Nara, people love to celebrate festivals. Festivals are special days with music, food, and traditions. They happen in temples, streets, and parks. And in Nara Park, the deer are always part of the celebrations. During a festival, the park becomes colorful. There are paper lanterns, flags, and banners. People wear traditional clothes, and children play games. Visitors from other countries watch the performances and enjoy the food stalls. And through it all, the deer walk quietly. They move between the crowds, curious but calm. Some festivals are connected to the seasons. In spring, there is the Cherry Blossom Festival. People gather under the pink trees to enjoy flowers, music, and tea. Deer walk slowly among the people. Sometimes they bow for crackers, and sometimes they just rest in the shade. The calm deer make the festival feel peaceful, even with many visitors. In autumn, there is the Moon Viewing Festival. People bring mats and sit under trees, looking at the full moon. Food is shared, and music plays softly. Deer move quietly, watching people with gentle eyes. Visitors often give small crackers to the deer, who bow politely in return. The scene is beautiful, a mix of nature, humans, and history. Deer are not forced to participate in festivals. They choose where to go and how to act. Some stay near the temples, others follow people at a distance. They are part of the life of Nara, not only during festivals but every day. Their presence reminds everyone of tradition and respect for nature. Volunteers help during festivals too. They explain to visitors how to feed the deer safely and how to behave around them. They make sure the deer are not scared or stressed. Thanks to this care, the park remains safe and enjoyable for everyone, humans and animals alike. Visitors often take photos of the deer with lanterns or festival decorations. Some children try to mimic the bow of the deer, laughing quietly. Many people leave the festival feeling happy and calm. They have seen animals and humans living together peacefully, celebrating life at the same time. Even small moments during a festival are important. A deer sniffing a flower, bowing for a cracker, or walking quietly by a child shows balance between nature and people. The festivals are not just about music or food. They are about connection, respect, and understanding. Chapter 9. Deer in Art and Souvenirs. When people visit Nara, they often want to take a small part of the city home. Something to remember the calm park, the temples, and of course, the friendly deer. That is why deer appear everywhere in Nara's art, souvenirs, and local crafts. Walk through the streets near the park, and you'll see deer on postcards, keychains, t-shirts, and even cookies. Shops display small wooden deer, made by local artists. Some are simple and small. Others are painted in bright colors or carved from fine wood. Visitors love buying them because each one feels special, like a piece of Nara's gentle spirit. In traditional Japanese art, deer often appear next to temples, trees, or the moon. These pictures are not just decorations. They carry a message: peace between nature and humans. Painters use soft colors, green, brown, and gold, to show calmness and respect. Some old paintings even show deer walking beside monks or sleeping under cherry trees. Modern artists in Nara also use deer in their work. You can find drawings, sculptures, and even jewelry inspired by the animals. In one small gallery, an artist paints deer with watercolor, soft, dreamy images that make people smile. In another shop, a craftsman makes tiny deer bells. When they ring, the sound is light and peaceful, like the feeling of walking through Nara Park. Local food also celebrates deer in a fun and kind way. Some bakeries make cookies shaped like deer heads with smiling faces. Cafes serve deer milk coffee. Not real deer milk, of course, but just a name to remind people of the park. Even these small touches make the town feel warm and connected to its animals. Visitors often take pictures of the big statues and signs around the city, too. Near the train station, there's a large sculpture of a deer bowing. Many tourists stop there first to take a photo. It feels like the deer is welcoming them to Nara. Deer have become a symbol of the city, just like Mount Fuji is a symbol of Japan. They appear on brochures, city maps, and travel websites. The image of a gentle deer makes people feel relaxed before they even arrive. For locals, it's a reminder to protect and care for the animals that bring so much peace to their home. Art and souvenirs may seem small, but they tell a big story. A story of respect, kindness, and coexistence. When people buy a small deer keychain or postcard, they are not just taking an object. They are taking a memory of peace, a reminder that beauty comes from living gently with nature. If you visited Nara, what kind of deer souvenir would you choose? Something funny, cute, or traditional? And what would it remind you of? The deer, the people, or feeling of the park? Chapter 10. The Lesson of the Deer. Every visitor who walks through Nara Park takes home a memory. Some remember the tall trees and old temples. Some remember the sound of wind through the leaves. But most of all, people remember the deer, calm, curious, and kind. At first, they look like ordinary animals. But after a few minutes, you notice something different. The deer are not scared of people. They walk beside you softly, watching, waiting. They bow politely for a cracker, and then move on without hurry. There is something peaceful about the way they live. Not too fast, not too loud. For hundreds of years, people in Nara have shared their space with the deer. The animals are not pets, and they are not wild in the usual way. They live freely, but they also live close to humans. This balance is special. It shows that people and animals can exist together with respect and care. The deer teach a quiet lesson. They remind us that kindness can be gentle, not loud. They show that peace can exist in small, everyday moments: a soft step, a calm breath, a simple bow. They do not need to speak to share their message. Their calm eyes and slow movements say enough. Many visitors leave the park feeling softer inside. Some say the deer make them think about their own lives, about patience, about slowing down, about being kind without asking for anything in return. In a busy world, that message feels important. Even people who don't believe in any religion can feel something spiritual here. not in a big or mysterious way, but in a natural one. The air feels peaceful. The connection between humans, animals, and nature feels real. You can sense it in the quiet walk of the deer, in the sound of leaves, in the warm sunlight through the trees. Teachers sometimes bring students to Nara to learn about history, but they also talk about empathy. Children learn how to feed deer safely, how to bow, how to wait. It's not just about visiting a park. It's about learning a way of living that respects life in all its forms. So when you leave Nara, the lesson stays with you. You start noticing small things, the way birds sing in the morning, or how people smile when you're gentle with them. The deer of Nara teach this without words. What do you think we can learn from the deer? Maybe patience, or respect, or simply peace in small moments? If every city had animals like this, how would the world feel? Thank you, dear listener, for walking with me through Nara Park today, for listening to the stories, the sounds, and the soft steps of the deer. I hope this journey helped you relax and maybe think a little about peace, nature, and kindness. If you enjoyed this calm story, you can also listen to our previous episodes: Why the Cow is Sacred in India, The Elephant in Thailand and Buddhism, and The Dragon in Chinese Culture. Each one takes you to a different place in Asia, to meet animals that are not just part of nature, but part of the spirit of people and their stories. And next time, we'll travel far, across deserts and pyramids, to a world full of mystery and sand, to meet a creature both graceful and proud: the cat in ancient Egypt. So don't forget to like this video, share your favorite moment in the comments, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next calm journey through language and culture. Thank you for being here, for listening, learning, and finding peace in English words. See you in the next story.